Hi everyone.
Hello there.
Over this Advent season, we are focusing on a few themes that usually announce themselves over this period, um, being in the stories around Christmas. And we've looked already at peace and we've looked at hope. And on this Saturday, just before Christmas, we are focusing on the important theme of love.
Mm, mm.
And it would have been strange if we didn't look at love.
Yeah, because we see Christmas as a feast of love, um, and like I think like hope and peace, it's also words that are much wider than Christmas.
Mm,
So it comes to the fore in the story of Christmas, but then also it's part and parcel of our lives, just like love would be.
mm,
But love being a word that is so almost overused,
mm,
we often just switch off. Oh, this is a talk about love.
mm,
And how to look at love in a fresh way is often the challenge.
mm. Or not even trying to think in a
Yeah,
fresh way, but
yeah.
almost
Rethinking love.
re let it let it really penetrate us.
Yeah, yeah. What exactly
Mm,
does the love of Christmas what does Christmas as a love feast entail?
mm,
What happened there? So
mm,
God shows us, or God is absolutely uh, uh, what's the word?
enmeshed.
Enmeshed in life. Um, Jesus is born, and Jesus lives a life totally surrendered to love.
Mm, mm, mm,
Totally surrendered in this being love, letting love happen through him. Um, and we know that his story doesn't end well in terms of where it takes him. So maybe to even look at love and what love asks of us,
mm,
and it all started with Christmas. All started with a birth.
mm, 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 mm. Yeah, because I don't think that the message, and when we talk about love, that it is as sweet as we
Yeah,
often,
we've romanticized it tremendously.
yes.
And I think there is, to a large extent, more of a feeling of compassion, a feeling of goodwill around Christmas.
Mm,
People are much more aware of others' needs. There's all these projects to bring to um, collect things for people, um, pass gifts, and that's wonderful. And but that also can be a easy way out.
mm, mm,
Often it of course it helps, and of course it's a very beautiful token. Um, but love takes something. Takes it. It's love doesn't just um, love just isn't just sweet.
mm, 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 mm.
It's not just the sauce over the pudding.
Yeah, yeah. What does love ask of us? Uh, if you look, and I think to an extent, that's why we often shy away from Jesus's message, because it is easy to work with the image of a baby. It is
Hmm.
beautiful, the baby in the hay, and there are artists who have reinterpreted that birth in a modern context.
Hmm.
Um, and it is such striking images, because then you have this young couple, and this boy phoning home from a telephone booth, with this girl standing outside with this baby. It is a difficult situation.
Yeah.
Uh, so uh, how how do we um, how do we live this life that Jesus said? Well, this isn't going to be easy.
Yeah. How do you live love after Christmas?
Yes, yes.
When life happens. Um, and often I think that's what makes Christmas special, is that it's family feast, it's people coming together, people that love each other. Um, and there's a lot of offerings of love. Um, and then it's January, and life starts all over again in that cycle. And what does love ask of us?
Mm,
Um, if we look at Jesus, um, it asked everything. It was a life fully lived in love, a life fully alive, not an easy life,
mm.
um, asking the ultimate price.
But then we can say yes, but that was Jesus's work. He felt he had to do that,
Mm,
but that's not my path.
mm,
It doesn't ask that much of me.
mm,
It was almost his trajectory.
mm.
Uh, but
But
I think that is exactly his message.
yes, and I mean, we see people with that type of radical love.
Mm,
We've experienced people like that,
mm,
and for I can only look at that in total amazement and
mm,
in total awe at people's absolute radical love, and what it takes.
mm.
Um,
Because they are misunderstood,
mm,
they are often ridiculed, they're out of step with reality.
or that's what we call it.
That's what we
Yeah,
call it,
yeah,
because reality calculates,
yeah.
and you can do that much, but if you overstretch yourself, you're going under. But love spends itself.
Mm. And love doesn't look at at things the same way that we do in calculations.
No.
Um, the more you love, the more you get, but the more you also will have the the tears, the grief when somebody that you've desperately loved or loved a lot or passes away, or you have the greater the love, the greater the grief.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so these Simeon says to Mary, this child will be, he is going to be the savior of the world, but a sword will go through your heart. Her love would make us suffer.
Mm, mm,
Um,
mm.
so
And I
love is
think,
not easy.
mm,
Love is not just um, pretty. Love is not just pretty.
yeah. And I think for that reason, uh, sorry, for that reason, Christmas is indeed a feast of love, because we with family, with ties, uh, where we are so close that there's also hurt involved
Yeah.
in terms of relationships. Um, and
And an
often,
expectation often of love that is
yes,
not met in the way that we would like it to be met. So
yeah.
there's lots of feelings of disappointment or abandonment, or so as much as Christmas can be a feast of love, it's also one where the absence of love is accentuated,
Yes,
and
yes,
loss is accentuated.
yeah. So, in a sense, Christmas and the story of Christmas pulls us into life. And if we are pulled into life, we are drawn into love.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, that's part and parcel of it. Um, and I think that is why Christmas is indeed the feast of love, but on a very textured level, um, nuanced and deep felt. And it touches every aspect of life. The beautiful, um, it is beautiful to hold a little baby and everything that's going with that, but uh, the heartache is never that far away. Uh, it's there as well. That's part of this life. Uh, and love helps us to steer among this textured life. Um, yeah.
Mm.
Well, uh, we hope you have a beautiful Christmas. Christmas where you are aware of all the love ties in your
Mm.
life,
Mm.
to your place, to your people, um, and to this time of year.
Mm.
Um, we wish you a very, very blessed Christmas.
Yeah, and may love happen through us.
Mm. Keep well.
Goodbye.